आज हमारे साथ बैठे हैं RN साहब, हम उनको बोलेंगे नारायण अभी एक सूडोनिम की तरह, और वो आज हमारे साथ लड़कियों के बारे में बात करने वाले हैं। नारायण साहब।
वंश, आज तक जब भी मैंने तेरे से बात किया है तब मैं ही बात करता हूँ। आज मैं चाहता हूँ कि तू हमारे प्रिय लिसनर्स को और मेरे को बताए तेरे साथ क्या चलता है, लड़कियों का अभी क्या है।
अभी मैं बोलूँगा कि मेरे साथ कुछ गुची गू नहीं हो रहा। मेरा दिल था ना, वो हो गया आइसिस बम बम बम, पर पहले था तारा रम पम पम। तो फिर बेसिकली लड़कियाँ हैं ना, वो 5'7" होती है, वो चिवावा की तरह होती है। मैं पहले डरता था उनसे बहुत, फिर मैंने सोचा कि चिवावा से क्यों डरूं। तो फिर nowadays I'm very calmer around girls and I don't care a lot about them. It's like I have a thing and they have a no thing.
Right.
As Shakespeare would say.
Right.
Yes. And I really just focus on myself. I meditate, I open my chakras, I sun my ass, all of those things. What about you, sir?
On that sunning your ass, I've heard perennial, sunning is great for your health.
Yes, indeed.
I hope you get cancer of the colon. Right.
I love you too.
Yeah, but you have said that some women have broken your heart or tada rum from
Isis bum bum bum.
ISIS bum. Can you expand on that now?
Essentially, there was this girl. बोलना नहीं चाहिए पर वो थी। बट एसेंशली वो जो लड़की थी, आई एम ग्रेटफुल फॉर दैट एक्सपीरियंस, क्योंकि उस एक्सपीरियंस से आई ग्रू स्ट्रोंगर। आई वॉज वीकेंड फॉर श्योर, बट इट्स लाइक मसल। जिम के अंदर जाते हो, योर मसल गेट्स वीक, यू रेस्ट, यू रिकूपरेट, एंड देन इट गेट्स बेटर, इट्स गेट्स स्ट्रोंगर, एंड द सेम हैपेंड यू. So I'm grateful for that experience, but at the same time, I don't want to experience it again. So like next time, I'll be a lot more picky, for a lack of better words, with my partner, because I've seen all of the red flags in her. But other than that, I'm good.
I see.
What about you, sir?
Well, mine is always what it has been.
Have some confidence.
I've always had bad experiences with women, so no changing there. But I really do want to ask you now, Vansh.
Yes.
When she broke your heart and you're saying it's like a muscle, it has to be worked.
Yeah.
How can you say, I don't want to work it again? Are you...
No. Like, see, the thing is, this is the newbie gains, right? Those were the newbie gains. I'm not going to go through the newbie gains again. There's no point. This is something akin to, let's just say that I already know that it's stupid to invest that much into a person. I already know that it's not worth it to invest that much into a person, and I believe my purpose and my children are the biggest priorities for me. Right. And my relationships are secondary to that. So my legacy and my purpose, those are the two things I care about the most. And my legacy also contains children, so again I'm focusing on that.
So after this woman that broke your heart, what type of women are you searching for? What qualities do you think? Like, what do you think that now that you've experienced this heartbreak, this, overcoming this first hurdle, what have you learned from this?
I think that I had a very bad mindset approaching women. So I think it was an internal problem. I always do. And I believe that, for example, she wasn't particularly bad. Okay, even if I called her that, that's a joke. But she wasn't particularly bad. The problem was with me and the expectations I was having with the relationship or whatever. Right? So again, I think that was because of a lot of Hollywood propaganda, whatever you want to call it, romanticism. And I think I have a much more realistic approach right now. The main priority in my relationship won't be love. It will be a priority, but it's more like something which is necessary for the children. So that's why I want to give her love. That's my main priority now. I would say that the biggest priority for me is someone who just wants to give the children the best possible life.
So would you say that you value your children, you would value your children more than your wife?
I think we both would value our children more than we would value each other. I think that's something which is unnecessary.
Right, I see. Well, yeah, I also have a ton of bad experiences with women.
Go ahead. I think I can learn something from them.
Yeah, because the same woman that broke your heart broke mine. But then I realized some women are not made for One man.
She's a community project.
Community. She is the main road, we are cars.
Ah, you're fun, brother.
But, after that, I have found people. And the thing I've taken away from all of them is that I have really bad choices.
I think, see, again, I think the problem is internal. Like, what would you say is the reason why you have made bad choices? What do you particularly like about all of these women? The common factor, the denominator?
Man, they're all goths. And see, the problem with them is they don't want relationships. And it's not that they're only seeking sex or something. They don't understand relationships. They don't understand the need for it. Because they're codependent on other people. And then, like, there's this special friendship they create with people where it's almost like a partner.
Friends with benefits-ish.
No, it's not friends with benefits. It's just like you share everything with them. You're like closest to them. So like a partner doesn't make sense. Partners are there to be with you through thin and thick. They're with you, to love you, emotionally support you. Now, if you already relegate that to somebody else, the only thing that's left is sex. So that's what they chase. And then, as you know, Vansh, after looking at me in real life, I am not the most macho, suave looking man.
First of all, I think you can change that. I've told you already. I think that if you genuinely wanted to. And second of all, bro, why do you like goths? They're depressed. They don't care about anything. They're like, death. I love death. I listen to Metallica.
You like kind of just described me as well. So
So you're goth. You're goth wearing a light green t-shirt.
Right.
And a kada. Kada-ish thingy.
Right.
Okay.
Hey, God is goth. You don't know, man. Jesus was a zombie.
Yeah, Jesus was literally, the thing he died from is the thing that is the symbol of the religion. That's like having a gun as your symbol of the religion.
That's like black people having chains as a symbol of their freedom.
God. So, like, why would you say that you are goth right now? Why would you say that there's some sort of appeal in being goth or chasing goth people?
There's no appeal. It's not like a chosen thing. It's just, Metallica, metal is fun, obviously. Black is the easiest color to wear because it doesn't, like, make you stand out. And, well, death is a very...
Stand out.
Well, yeah. But like, it's cool. It's like there's like, if you're wearing green or you're wearing red, you have to style it. You color combat. With black, it's just black, white, black. Anything works perfectly. Then the death thing. Well, okay. I'll give you your mathematical equation for this.
Oh boy.
Heartbreak, bad grades, stupidity equals death. That's yeah. Life is death right now.
Why not change that? Yeah. Do you honestly not think that the other people in your life, who we won't mention, like Mr. Bling and Mr. Circular, those will not help you? Like when you're actually trying to improve your grades or perhaps your love life or whatever. I think especially like other people, certain people who you're in contact with, they can certainly help you with the gym, like perhaps Mr. Shoe or Mr. Let's just forget the names because I need to think about them. Yeah. But some people can help you with the gym. Some people can help you with the mindset. Some people can help you with approaching studies. You have a very, very good set of friends. And I think you should fully make advantage of that. That's the reason, because of Mr. Bling and all of the other influencers, that I started being better. I actually had hope. And I'm very grateful for that. How about you try gratitude? Like, writing 3 things, it might seem a little cringe, but I think it will genuinely make a good impact in your life.
I've done much worse, like cringer things than writing 3 lines of gratitude. The problem
you
with...
bought a death note?
No. I have written like entire paragraphs like, yo man, you're an inspiration. Duh. I love you so much, bro. And that was to Mr. Bling, man.
Oh, did it work?
It didn't work. He was like, bro, you're cringe as shit.
I guess that's an expectation with me.
That's an expectation with you. I don't know. I just like giving gratitude to people. It makes, like, for me, it's just like the max I can do is give them a bit of gratitude. Yeah, sure.
I think you should. Do you feel happy when you give others gratitude?
Yeah, it feels like, okay, let's say you're working out and you can't see a lot of, change, but then I'm like, yo, Vansh. Yeah, it looks like you're working out.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Then you're going to get more determination. Yeah, it gives you confidence and it doesn't cost me anything. There's no reason to not say it, right?
So, why not try gratitude for yourself? Come on, bro. You work hard, you actually go socialize with people, and you genuinely are a very good influence on other people. You genuinely make other people's lives better. You should be grateful for that. You should express some thankfulness to yourself.
I used to do that. It used to work a lot, but I used to have a lot of issues. And now, as soon as I stopped all of that, I quit the issues and I'm a decent human being, but I'm getting like grades wise, love wise. And now the problem is, do I go to a place where I hurt and potentially kill people? I put people in the hospital during that time. Or do I just be a normal person? Not great grades, like okayish grades. And
What about the third option? Being superior. Come on, bro. I know you can do it. Being superior is always the option. The fact that you didn't even consider it. You should have a bit more esteem. You should have a bit more ego. You should have a bit more desire for power. Like, I think women, I don't particularly care for them, and that's why I got some attention, like 2-3 girls in. Because I genuinely didn't care at one point. I just was worried with my business. I didn't used to talk to a lot of people, and they were the one coming up to me.
Man, one should just have to understand, man, you look great right now. You have a good boom. Come on, man.
Brother. More than looking good, I think it's the fact that I'm happy. And women and people in general, they're attracted to a person who's already happy and can give them even more happiness. Right. I learned that from I don't want to give her a name, but I learned that from her, the woman, that you shouldn't look for happiness in other people. You should instead be whole yourself. You should be a person who is happy by themselves, and you should spread that happiness, right? So, and that happens when you actually chase your purpose, when you go to the gym, when you do some meditation or write some gratitude for other people, for yourself, etc.
Man, my meditation used to consist of drinking, smoking, praying to God, cursing God.
Praying is nice. I do that. I literally did that before.
It was like, when you work your muscles, you do your bicep and your tricep together, antagonistic muscles. Same thing with God. I was always like, thank you, God, for providing me opportunities. But at the same time, thank you for not actually delivering on those opportunities.
That's like passive aggressive. So that's like passive aggressive in a very anxiety causing way. So you're causing God anxiety, bro. Yeah, that's something you should be grateful for. You're making God worry. You're making his heart skip a beat.
I threaten that dude too much. I have literally just written out paragraphs. I have spoken to people just being like, if something that I do not want, like somebody getting hurt, or somebody's dog dying of cancer or some shit, right? Or like something bad happening, I'm like, I will go up there personally. I will kill myself right now. And I will go up there and bathe God in my blood until he sees nothing else. And then they get fined. So I think God is scared of me.
I'm not sure what to make of that, brother. But at least you're getting results, right? If you don't have the happiness or whatever, use anger or spite, I guess.
Well, anger and spite doesn't work usually.
Spite works. Like, I got my grades. I got my better grades.
Yeah.
Because I had spite to actually spite that woman, because I wanted to show that I can get better marks than her. And I actually did in the subject that she wanted to have better marks.
Also, now she switched to commerce, so...
You. I mean, I have like semi-commerce. I have like psychology, English, and business, so...
Well, the problem with spite is I can't get angry at people I don't really care about. Like, let's say a teacher, right? She says something. I'll get mad for like 5 minutes. I'll get mad for a day, let's say. I will top that class that next day if there's a test. But then after that, I'll be like, who cares, man? Who is this?
Yeah, exactly. You feel like this. You feel after spite kind of post-nut clarity.
Right.
Like, you don't care about it anymore. and you just don't care about it, and you want to go do your own thing now. And that's essentially what happened for me with studying, because I don't have a lot of motivation nowadays for studying other than to just maintain what I actually got in 10th, because I was working on spites, I was working on diesel, now I'm working on this organic algae made
working on
petroleum or
CNG.
whatever. Exactly, now I'm working on fumes. So
No, man. The problem with that is I don't have any people like hate that much to spite and have that. And the people that I do have spite against or like get spite against, I have to convince myself not to, because otherwise it's like, okay. To give you an example, one day I got like really bad grades. I went to like the teachers conference thing. They were like, yo, your child is trash, terrible, remove him, man. He doesn't do shit. I got so mad because my parents were also agreeing with them, fully screaming at me and shit. In that one day, I finished like 2 physics chapters, 2 chemistry chapters, and my entire goal was that I'm going to get into like MIT, Harvard or some shit. And then like the day after the acceptance letter, when my parents are very happy, I'm just going to kill myself. So they just get really, really sad. So I don't think spite is a good option for me.
okay, no, but I think like long term, spite would be something like you're thinking like short term, like a few months at max. But what about spite in the long term? Like 10 months, 10 years or whatever. The best thing to spite them would be to not think about them, would be to live your best life, to post it on Instagram and make them a little anxious. But that's that. You don't need to take care of them that much, to put all of your energy and that much into it. I think if you just, detach yourself a little emotionally, and that's like me telling you the worst possible way to spite them. If you detach yourself a little emotionally, if you get like a very good letter or a letter of acceptance or something and get the best grades, but then you just don't talk to them, I think that would hurt far more to them. So like this is the psychopath in me talking.
That's not a good thing. Because listen,
Neither is the killing yourself.
the killing yourself makes sense. Because, okay, you get in, right? If you don't talk to them, they're like, okay, we'll send you. It's fine. Hamara naam roshan hoga. But
No.
but the thing is, once you get in, right?
Change your last name.
Huh?
Change your last name.
Okay, let's say my father, Mr. Amba, right? He's screaming at me. I get into Harvard, right? He's like, "Oh my god, child, you did great," and I'm like, "Oh, Mr. Amba, my father, I am so happy. This great, whatever, right?" And everybody is happy about it, right? I just want to see that look of that pure happiness you get, like the first snow.
Yeah.
The first time you see your child walk, the first time you have like a dog and like it like beats some life-threatening disease, that happiness. And then like just the moment after, I want to be pure terror, like the most unimaginable horror that could ever happen, the unfiltered pain that would happen when you're because when you get that happy, your emotions are so vulnerable. It's like, let's say you're a clam or something, right? You're protecting your pearl. As soon as you get really, really happy, it's like you open up fully, everything is exposed. And once that death happens, it's like somebody just stuck an ice pick inside you and started just going wild, and you cannot close up. So if you're saying spite which hurts people, this is the best.
I mean, see, I guess we all have personal preferences with spite. What do you think is an alternative to spite? Because we have definitely concluded that it won't work.
Despite, I think it's hope and love. So like, okay, let's say that girl that broke your heart, right? Let's say she didn't break your heart. Let's say you started dating and she was like, let's go to the US. What will you do? You'll start studying because you want to go to the US, you want to go to the same college. So there's two things. Either you get really, really love, like you're like, oh, for this person I'm going to do it, and you devote yourself.
That's what I would have done.
Huh?
That's what I plan to do.
And then the second one is, for this person I'm going to do it, but the exact opposite. You're like, oh, they're getting into, let's say IIT, you're going to get into MIT. Like everything's going to be better. Sure.
So the thing with me that I was thinking, like, I was having some lovey-dovey wale imaginations, and I would say that at that time, I probably would have. Her father was a relatively important person. That's all I'm going to say. And, like a $1 million business, multi-million, pentamillion-dollar business yearly. And essentially, if I wanted her, I need to be a capable man. So I probably would have been very, very busy for the past 5-6 years. And then I would have been the man who could actually have her. But then I realized ki mid. But I would genuinely say that I have like a dream girl, and this YouTube channel, everything I'm setting up is genuinely for her and for my children.
I think you're going to have another situation like the day in a life of somebody who's ugly. Have you ever seen that video?
No, I'm not sure what happened. Wait, can you explain?
Okay, so basically there was this dude on YouTube who like posted a video. He was like, the day in the life of an ugly person. Posted the video, didn't expect anything but jokes. And then a girl was like, oh my god, you're actually very cute, not ugly. Then she flew to his country and they started dating. And like a couple of years later, they got married and they're like really, really happy. Oh, good, that's good for her. So like, hopefully that happens for you as well, yeah.
Yeah, will happen for you too, brother. Because like you have a very great personality, you have a very great friendship, and I think that you have been by far one of the most important influences in my life. I'm not kidding. So be proud of that. Be genuinely proud of that. I'm not kidding. Yeah. Hold yourself to a different level because we hold you all. We adore you. You should know that.
How off track have we gotten from love, man?
Good. This is love.
But for love, okay, I'd say another thing is, I think the biggest problem with me is that there's either two things. Either I'm going to flirt with them very heavily and then we're going to be friends with benefits. There's no other option. Or there's the other one where I just become Seedha friends with them. And then once I become full friends with them, they can't see me in another way. And I had once there was this friend of mine and I told her this. I was like, oh, this girl, and she rejected me, and it's because we are good friends. That's why she can't see past that. And she's like, no, people can see past that. Heavily flirted with her, like fucking crazy. That day,
you didn't take it to the next level.
We went to the next level. Something started. Right, we're doing like for 3 days or something, right? Like 12 to 4 a.m.
Yeah, go ahead.
All day, right? And then like on the 5th day or something, she messages me. She's like, yo, Mr. Amba. Yeah.
Mr. Narayan.
Mr. Narayan, right? She's like, Mr. Narayan, I can't do this. We're two good friends. And I'm like, you're proving my point.
I think that was like excuse. Because like, bro, you didn't take it to the next level. Did you try to meet up with her?
Well, she is in my school, so I did meet up with her.
No, like in actually outside, going on a date in a romantic environment.
But we had this plan that in school, if the feeling is good, we'll plan something for the next day, like outside date or some shit.
No.
But the problem was, it didn't go good.
I mean, okay, brother, I would still say that, this woman, it's progress. Like, you didn't even used to sex before, and now all of a sudden this woman's, just boing, कुछ हो रहा है text के अंदर, Instagram के अंदर, मेरे को सर दर्द हो रहा है इसके मैं बात करते हुए. But essentially, this is still progress, and I think you can genuinely see that women have interested you. Women do and can see you, and do see you as someone who is genuinely perhaps a prospective partner. Or something around that. Yeah, that's your choice. That's your choice, though. That's your perspective on yourself. The perspective you have on yourself will determine the perspective they have on you.
Right. Well, okay. To be honest, you're correct. Because after that, I just went like, no, I became a bit like less caring. Because before I was like, oh, I don't want to make the person, feel weird or anything. Right, so I'm not going to like flirt with them at least. Game plan karenge. We're going to actually talk to them, become friends, and then slowly, subtly flirt. Make sure they're fine with flirting. If they're not, then friends rakho. Yeah, try later, like later. Right. But this time I was just, the girl I was talking to you like recently.
Okay.
Just recently, I just started heavily flirting, and like something happened. It started something, man.
Yeah, I think, see. I think that you had some sort of fear that you would offend the person, right? But that to an extent, you need to polarize people, right? You need to have people on a spectrum, essentially. Like you are on the masculine, she's on the feminine, one's with power, one's with not, whatever you want to say. And essentially, that polarization can begin not by being this middling thing, which is, trying to keep her comfortable, but also trying to get in a relationship with her, but instead someone who is very clear about their priorities, who is very upfront about their desires, and someone who can genuinely express their mind. Because if you're, let's say, long term, if you got into a relationship with her or something, right? This girl, the previous one, and you couldn't even, just tell yourself like what you were thinking, what you were trying to do, because you cared too much about offending her or whatever. That would have been a bad relationship long term. Right. The kids would have been anxious or whatever. So it wouldn't have been good long term. And I think that is a lesson you learned from that, I would say.
Not entirely. The problem was just that, okay, first of all, as a man, it's very scary to put the first move out. Because, okay, I'll tell you some experiences. One time, like there was this friend of mine. Before that time, we used to hang out a lot. And then, I put my hand on her shoulder and she was visibly uncomfortable, weirded out, which was very surprising because before that she wasn't ever. If anything like that happened.
Perhaps she was scared or whatever. Perhaps she was in a bad mood because
Maybe she was in a bad mood, but the problem was after that we just stopped talking. Like she could not approach me. And the next thing, like, happen, like shit happens like that. You don't know how comfortable people are with that. And if they're not very comfortable, they can spin it the wrong way. Like, they could be like, oh my God, I told him to, stop or do this and he didn't. And then you're painted as the bad person. Yeah. Sure.
Bro, if you just walk up to her, you tell her, hey, I like you, I want to go on a date next Sunday, you want to do something. I won't pull out any moves, I just want to get to know you, that's all. Right? If you do that, what's the problem with that? You are very upfront with your desires, you can't really be shown as a villain or whatever. And again, what's the worst that can happen? She will reject you, she will say, oh my God, asked me out, what else? She will say that in a little group, clique, whatever. You get it, right?
Like, okay. The biggest problem with that is, first of all, you need a bit of confidence, which I lack a lot.
You literally, for context viewers, he picked up a damn pole made of a damn pillar made of wood and metal. He picked it up, put it on his straps and started hitting a boxing bag with it. He has confidence. You can't say that. And besides, what do you even need confidence for, brother? They are 5'7". They wear high heels. They talk like, hee. And what are you scared of exactly? That they'll say no. Will they have a purse or something, right? You think they'll pull out a Tommy gun and go, what do you expect from them?
Well, okay, the biggest problem is the people you ask out is usually the people who are closest to you. For me, it's that because okay, if I go to a random person, I do not want to do, because the problem with random people is then you don't know how they are actually. You don't know, like, deep inside if they're a good person or just bahar ka kar raha. You don't know if outside they're like, oh, they're such a nice person. Inside they're like, I hate black people. I hate this. You don't actually know their personality. You don't know, like, the next, like, let's say you screw them, right?
To be fair, first thing, everyone has flaws, okay? I think we both do too. Because, like, I'm too extreme to the point that women can't handle it. Like, I have a whole daily routine. They can't fit anywhere inside that. And for you, I would say that we both have flaws. What would you say your flaw is?
My flaw, I think it's a lack of confidence. Like, a lot of.
Just as an example. So, like, it's not a matter of, them having something wrong with them. Everyone does to an extent. But, like, I believe even with your friends, do you think that, they will tell you everything about themselves, that they were diddled by their uncle or something when they were 5 years old? They won't tell you that, even if you're like a good friend with them.
But, okay, the problem with that is, like, I at least know, like, generally how they are. If you ask a random person out, you don't know how they are. And that's the thing, like, then you get emotionally attached. Okay, let's say you met this woman, right? You went on a coffee date. She seemed fine. You started going out with her. 2-3 days later, you're emotionally attached now. You're invested. Your money has been spent, your time has been spent, your love has been spent. You might have even, done a video call with your parents being like, this is my new girlfriend. I don't know how simpy you are. Maybe you did that shit. And then turns out this woman is just crazy and she's, like, oh my god, let's.
Had that already.
You had that exactly. You understand.
You do
until
you have the same experience.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, until I know somebody at least a little bit, like, like deep enough to know that they are not complete assholes. I can't just ask somebody out. Sure.
So I would say that I think that because we have experience, I think we can spot out some very general red flags. And I went in basically a restaurant, right? It was next to my friend's house. We were hiking that day, and we both went to the restaurant. And there was another friend with us. He was like, "Bro, you're so scared of women. You should go cold approach them." And so I told them there were 2 women. I let them go. I let them both go and cold approach them. They were very mid. They were like very mid, like not in the sense that they were beautiful or something. That wasn't the main thing, but like their personality. It was like, how do I describe it? It was like white water. That's how blank it was. It was like I had rice without anything, without even namak.
Right.
So like, you can spot some things, you can spot the basic things, and you can tell whether person will be a good match to you. Because like I asked them some things, I asked them what they plan to do, what they etc. And they were like, "Oh, I plan to go into banking." Okay, like will that actually work out for you? And she was like, "Oh, maybe." And like when they have, at least for me, when they have a half-assed plan or something, I don't really like them. I think they're very weak-willed, and I can tell that I won't really get along with her, right? So perhaps there's something for you there that perhaps, that you can spot out. For example, you will eventually see that girl with her friends, and, you will probably talk to her friends too. You will find out how she's with her friends, how she acts with them, whether there's some sort of dominance hierarchy or whatever. That will be, I would say, at least implicit.
Okay, the biggest problem with me right now is I have to focus on myself more than other people. Because I've noticed, okay, women will only want you if you would want you. Okay, let's say you're fat, you're dumb. Okay, I'm just describing myself. I'm just describing myself at this point. Okay?
I was all 3.
Okay. So let's say you're fat, you're dumb, you're not good looking, no confidence, no nothing, right? Would you approach you? And if you do think you're going to approach you, I'm going to ask you genuinely, do you think you would approach somebody like yourself? Let's say there was somebody of the opposite gender. Fat, dumb, no confidence, no nothing, no redeeming features.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would. So at that point, you should realize when you can't love yourself, how can you expect other people to love you? So, first work on yourself. Like, Vanshaz right now, he's, gotten in shape, gotten more confidence, cleared up his, gotten better. Brain fogs, he's more intelligent, more good looking, It's something that, women would look at and be like, yeah, well put together, man.
Potential.
Good person, good potential mate for life, partner, right? But then
you look at him and he's crazy.
And then, like, you open the hood and it's just like, bollocks, man, bollocks.
I mean, see, I think that's why you need to have a very 80-20 approach, right? Because like when I was talking to them, I was being extremely honest. I was telling them, I won't go to college. I was telling them that, it's about chumps. I don't really like it. And essentially what I was being is polarizing. Like I said, polarization is very important, right? So I tell them this bad crazy plan. And rather than, being interested rather than being anything, which I believe my personal woman would have been, she was like, bollocks, what is this? What is this? Why is this guy crazy? Is he stupid? He gets good grades. How is he doing this? Why is he doing this? And so like, I would say that I think 80% of it should be game or perhaps, caring for them or whatever. And 20% should be your genuine personality, which you over time show them. For example, I would say I'm a big nerd, like, Warhammer and all of that. Right. But I wouldn't tell about them on the first date. I wouldn't tell them that maybe I have this giant Tyranids connection or whatever. Like, I wouldn't show them that. It's like showing your asshole. Why would you? Yeah. Especially on the first date. essentially, I believe that we should talk about our interests. We should talk about the things that we're interested in, but it shouldn't be like this autistic, hyper focused wali cheese that we only talk about that. We should have some interest in the other person, care about them, etc. Okay. Any last words?
Okay, for the last thing. Okay, I need to go back on something you said, which was that, the women were like, oh my god, you have good grades, why are you doing dumb shit? I used to think that, like, oh, if this person is smart, we should, give them opportunities, like kind of force them to do something good. But then, like, some people like Bling, right? His new friend is Akash. And we were talking about his future, and then Akash did say something really cool.
What did
like,
Sky
not
answer?
cool, but he said, that like, who are we to, dictate what another person does? Does it matter if he's smart or not? If he's smart, he can do whatever he wants.
Great smart is another thing.
Great smart, anything smart. The problem with that is, it's their life. If they want to, walk around, do drugs or something, let them do it. You can't change it. It's not your life, right?
Unless you are being their financial supporter and you're their parents.
Like, if you're their friends, don't let them do like dumb shit. Like, don't
Heroin or something.
encourage them to
Heroin or
smoke.
something.
Don't, try to help them get off it or something. But, if they're like, oh, I'm going to go into like an undecided major, or I'm going to do this, even, let's say they're like the chemistry topper. You're not going to push them into
And they're going
chemistry
into
or the
bio.
biochem.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, I want to do engineering, even though their physics isn't good. You can't push them to be, like, oh my god, you do great in biochem. It's like, yeah, it's their choice.
Yeah, I
Can't
think
change.
that a lot of people have like a very deterministic view. So, for example, Mr. Shu.
Yeah.
Mr. Shu. He has a very deterministic view. I believe we were talking to Mr. Circular, Mr. Round, and he was talking to him. And he basically said that, bro, you got very bad marks. I've known you since second grade. And he was like, you can't get good grades. And then Mr. Circular got it. So Mr. Circular got it because he was genuinely desired. He genuinely wanted to change his personality. He had some sort of mental desire. Yeah. So having a deterministic view, I don't think it will serve you, and you should have thoughts which serve you get to the goals. Yeah. So even if, let's say, free will doesn't exist, let's say that everything is predetermined, it's all in God's plan or whatever. I still think that we should hold a certain level of free will to ourselves, right? Because when you do, even if that isn't true, if you do believe that, you will make better choices, right? And even if you, let's say you take drugs, right? And you believe that there's a monster. There isn't a monster, it's just you making a choice. And so when you say that, it becomes easier to quit, it becomes easier to take course of your life, it becomes easier to literally make changes in days rather than months, because you're not haunted by some kind of monster or predetermined fate.
Honestly, for addictions like cigarettes or drinking, I've noticed if you just leave it like, oh, my smoking friends, I'm going to leave my smoking friends. I'm going to, not look at cigarettes. Yeah. At that point, you're just running away from it, and the day somebody offers you one, you're just going to be like, it's so easy to get now. I can just take it. But if you have it, let's say you have a pack, and you force yourself, you're like, I'm not going to smoke. You go to parties where people are smoking, and you're standing in the middle, and you're not smoking. That's when you can say, I have quit. Once you can do that like consistently for like a year or two, not even a year or two, addiction never stops until you die. No, addiction never stops until you die. The people,
Self-limiting belief. See,
the people who say, right, like, I'm 36 years free, that doesn't matter. You're 36 years free until now. The next time, right?
If you keep a streak is meant to be failed.
Exactly. The streak is meant to be broken. Don't keep a streak. Once you quit cigarettes,
Once you don't even think about it.
If you run away from it, you're going to just, once you get access of it again, you're just going to get screwed over very fast, very easily. So my best advice would be, fight against it. Use your own will. It'll increase your will. It'll increase your confidence. It'll increase your self-image. Once you start being like, I will take control of my life. I will start saying no. I'll start taking decisions on my own accord. I won't be controlled by shit like this. Then, it changes you a lot. And like for the good, usually.
So, again, I think this is a very good approach, general approach to life. But I don't think you need to go through that much work for addiction, because I think you can genuinely stop it in one day. Like I said, if you have brainwashing, for example, I said something about alcohol, right? That it causes your cortisol to increase, heart rate to increase, everything it says, everything it does pharmaceutically, biologically, is a symptom of anxiety. But at the same time, when people drink it, they feel relaxation. They feel that they have calmed down. And the same happened to me. It's because of placebo, because of what we expect or believe in it, right? So again, I think that when you take away the mysticism, when you take away the belief that this is some kind of bad drug, it will control me, it's a conniving beast. And when you start looking at it, it's just a bottle of carbohydrates, because that's what it is, right? It's the same as Gatorade or whatever, except it will cook up your brain a little. So if you start looking at it like that, I don't think that it becomes that scary. It's just a bottle of carbohydrates. And the same with cigarettes or nicotine. You look at it, it's just a bunch of leaves. What are you scared of now? You look, see?
Okay. Once you start downplaying it, once you're like, hey, it's just a bottle, right? Then you get easier to do it because you're just like, it's just a bottle.
Yeah.
Once you start saying, once you start identifying it, you're like, this woman, who's swindling me, who's sleeping with other people that I've been forgiving her for. She is ruining me. She's, taking my money. She's not giving me love. She isn't doing that. These drugs that I'm taking, they aren't giving me any happiness. They're just controlling my life. These, cigarettes, alcohol, whatever. Once you identify it, it's easier to crack down on it. Actually, get to the root of it.
Yeah.
But once you're like, oh, it's just, just this. Why do I need it?
I'm seeing like downplaying it, not in the sense that she's cheating on someone, that you should have clear boundaries on that. But like, let's say that it's a drug and you think it's a beast or whatever, right? I don't think that's worth it. I think you should recognize that it's simply a bottle of carbohydrates and that you should be able to get rid of it if you so desire. Like you said, these are very, very different approaches, right? But in my opinion, I think that a person should have free will. Who knows, maybe the person likes being drunk or whatever. And who knows, maybe the person just likes drinking some alcohol on a weekend or whatever. It's natural, normal. So it's not that hard. I don't think so. And I think that if you mystify it, if you add some sort of, it's just a mountain, for example. And then there's the mountain spirit. It protects us. It gives us tree. It gives us water. Then everyone will be scared to touch anything, right? And it will be a self-fulfilling prophecy.
I just think it's the same with calling bad people, like monsters or something. You're distancing yourself from it. You're distancing shit from it. Once you get to the clear, oh, this person is a bad human.
Yeah.
Once you start relating to it, then it's easier to just demystify your character.
I don't think bad humans exist. I believe that every human, let's just say, if I was born as him, if I had the same temperament, the same kind of body, the same kind of experiences, I would probably do the same things as him. I would say that everyone is misguided to an extent, everyone is traumatized, but I don't think there are inherently bad people. So for example, there was this doctor, right? He experimented a lot on twins and stuff, and chopping their limbs, all of the other things, taking away their tooth without anesthesia. And people also report that he genuinely used to care for them. He genuinely used to think about them and bring them toys which they would like, foods which they would like. And then 30 minutes later, he would also kill them. So it's not big. That guy, he probably had some sort of a wrong brain. He probably didn't have any sort of moral values or whatever. But who knows, if I had the same kind of brain, same kind of temperament and everything, I very likely could have made the same mistakes as him. Do you have any last statements?
Last statements. Work on yourself before you love other people. Love yourself before you love other people. If you can't love yourself, other people can't love you. And drugs are for...
Cheers.